How is it that on some days, 6 little hours in the office can seem like an eternity, but 6 entire months in a relationship with the right man can go by in a flash? How did I go from swearing I'd never marry again, ever, to thinking, I want that ring on my finger right now? For the first time in over a quarter of a century, I wanted to hear the words, marry me. It was so unexpected, and then again, so was he. And it was absolutely terrifying. Our relationship was like nothing I'd ever experienced since my 18-year marriage ended almost 10 years ago. Every man I'd met, not only just the ones I dated, had further confirmed my conviction that I would never do it again. There was Mr. Oh So Vain, Mr. 2 a.m. Booty Call, Mr. Is regular employment really that important, etc., etc. None of them ever felt anything close to right. Until now. I first met him at a neighborhood bar. I was there with a close friend, my go-to guy when I wasn't dating, which I hadn't been in a long time. But for just a brief moment, we made eye contact. He smiled. He had a wonderful smile. It was brief and subtle, but magical. My friend caught the exchange and asked if he should plan on finding another ride home. Sadly for me, his shotgun seat was safe because even though he and I were just friends, nothing more. When a man and woman walk in together and leave that way, people just assume. But he of the magical smile was among those who, I suspect, assumed, and he respectfully kept his distance. I saw him several times over the next couple of months. Always that smile. Nothing more, though. He remained the polite stranger. And it might have slowly faded away into nothing more than a passing flirtation, if fate in the form of Match.com hadn't capriciously intervened. He happened to run across my profile online. No, I wasn't an avid online dater. A dip my toes in the water on occasion kind of girl. I mean, a soulmate search by zodiac sign? Really? But still, it wasn't like I had a lot to lose. Anyway, he messaged me asking why I'd not been around lately, adding that he missed seeing my beautiful face. I told him my friend had been busy, and I made it abundantly clear that he was just a friend, but I was not the type of woman to brave bars alone. I also casually mentioned in passing that if he'd let me know next time he was out, maybe I'd join him. I don't think I could have been any more obvious than ask me out already. The following Friday, he did. He texted and asked if I wanted to meet up with him. It wasn't the most romantic invitation, but it didn't matter. Within the hour, I was there. Too eager? Maybe a touch. But when I saw that smile and sensed his genuineness, I didn't care. We talked and laughed for hours. It was like every other Friday night and like no other Friday night ever. The more he opened up and I really got to know him, the more drawn to him I felt. He was recently widowed. It hadn't been a good marriage. His wife was heavily addicted to drugs. She was so wasted most of the time that she didn't notice the signs. By the time she went to the doctor, she was already too far gone. The cancer took her within 3 weeks. Despite their difficulties, her death was still painful. The loss had given him a depth that he might not have otherwise had. Later, he walked me to my car. We stood next to my SUV for what had to have been almost an hour, talking about everything and nothing. The parking lot was pretty much abandoned when he finally said, I should let you go. He leaned in to kiss me. Just one kiss, nothing more. And it was absolutely perfect. We went out the next night also. It was like we were already a couple. The following day happened to be Super Bowl Sunday, so I asked if he wanted to come over and watch the game at my house, tempting him with the promise of a home-cooked meal. But was it too soon to ask him to my place? I mean, it was, after all, our third date. Technically, I think. I did hold up my end of the bargain, the home-cooked food part. Let's just say we had no idea who took home the Lombardi Trophy. It was the perfect beginning to something I never wanted to end. 6 months later, we're still here, lying in that same bed on a quiet Sunday morning, neither one of us wanting to get up. A happy couple kind of Sunday morning. I have my head on his chest, and all I can think is, marry me. Wait, oh my God. Did I just say that out loud? Did he hear me? Maybe he didn't hear me. Please, Lord, let him not have heard me. I remained perfectly still, hoping that I just imagined the words coming out of my mouth. I was scared to death, not just by the thought of marriage, but far more importantly, by what his response would be. But there was no response, only silence, complete, utter silence. Oh, this cannot be good. What the hell have I done? It's only been 6 months. 6 months is nothing. It takes me longer than that to figure out a new phone. Marriage after 6 months. Who does that? He's going to get up and run, and I will never hear from him again. What have I done? We both knew that neither one of us wanted to get married. We had talked about it many times, and now I had said it out loud. Please say something, anything. But instead, he just got up and started putting on his jeans. Are you freaking kidding me? What, nothing? I went from praying he'd ignore the whole till death do us part, not so Freudian slip thing to angrily cursing him. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to break the painful silence. I know you heard what I just said. Please, for the love of God, at least acknowledge that you heard it and give me some kind of response. By now, I was feeling completely humiliated. I wanted to pull the covers over my head and hide. But I ventured on. What the hell did I have to lose? Even as the voices in my head screamed, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, you're making this worse!" I was on the verge of crying. I wanted to just run into the bathroom and lock the door and wait for him to leave. Forever. But he didn't. He knelt down beside the bed. He dug into his pocket. He smiled. That smile, and he pulled out the most beautiful diamond ring I had ever seen. What? I practically screamed. How long have you had that thing? When did you buy it, and why on earth was it in your pocket? So many questions, so many emotions, all rushing through me at the same time. You're gonna think I'm the crazy one. I bought it the Monday morning after the Super Bowl. I've been waiting for the right moment, and I've kept it in my pocket ever since, so I'd have it with me if and when that moment came. I know we both swore we'd never do it again, but will you marry me?